Coming up next, our Night Elf mirror match of the night, SaV70 versus Grinchy, the People's Champion. Going on over to the tail of the tape. Take a look at how both of these opponents fare in Night Elf mirror. Both players have so much experience. Diamond League and Platinum League, 1570 MMR, 1500 MMR. Both players coming here to play. We're in the 1550 MMR category. Without further ado, let's head on into the action. First map going to be Concealed Hill. Very curious to see what goes down in Night Elf Mirror. Night Elf Mirror can go a myriad of ways. But one thing that is for sure, both players preparing for a nice Ancient of War creep. The GLHF's being sent out. We have the Luckerman Army versus Bashi's Monkeys. Preseason matchup. Grinchy and SaV, two of our Night Elf champions of GNL, going face-to-face in the preseason. Baron, I could go ahead and I could do a highlight of it later. I don't know if it'll get DMCA'd because I got the Nature Boy music in there, but we'll see what I can. I'll see what I can do. All right, Wisps being sent across, scouting everything out. Keeper of the Grove coming out for Grinchy. Priestess of the Moon coming out for SaV. We usually know what this means. Might see a Huntress push from Mr. SaV. Huntress push is very deadly if you're not well equipped to deal with them. Easy to learn, difficult to master, I would say. To do a Huntress push effectively, there's a lot of different dimensions, bringing down the Ancient Protectors, placing them properly. Maximizing the damage with the searing arrows from the Priestess, microing the Huntresses properly. Grinchy going a little more standard Keeper of the Grove. Got the Treants first, going to be able to help creeping. And the first item to drop for Grinchy going to be the Gloves of Haste. Meanwhile, the Priestess going to get the ring that she was definitely not looking for. But she's going to have to make it work. All right, and SaV heading on down. Should see the Hunter's Hall and Ancient of War coming up. There they are, signifying what we already knew. The Huntress push is coming. Grinchy, I believe, scouted it with his Wisp. Grinchy preparing for it as well. Hunter's Hall coming up immediately with the second Ancient of War. So countering fire with fire. Keeper of the Grove well equipped to deal with this Priestess harass, but the Priestess trying to get some stutter steps in, get as much damage on these archers as possible. Grinchy also right-clicking the Priestess, trying to fend her off, send her home, send her packing. And the Huntress production is about to begin.
Forces are under attack.
Priestess shadow melding, one of the nice benefits being a female Night Elf unit. You do get shadow meld. No shadow meld for Keeper of the Grove. No shadow meld for Demon Hunter. And the right clicks back and forth, back and forth. Both players keeping each other on their toes as the Huntresses are coming online. And we're going to have Huntress Wars on Concealed Hill. Priest of the Moon continuing to try to snipe as many creeps as possible. Not sure if she sniped that one. I'm afraid to hit F9 because it sometimes makes my booster go away. But Priest is going to sit here, going to try to time this. Doesn't quite get it this time. 196 still stuck at that level of XP, but a nice effort by SaV. SaV going to head on back now. Grinchy trying to get some surface area in the middle of the map. Maybe even start the shop. Meanwhile, Huntress is starting to creep up the Murloc camp. Huntresses of Grinchy now, one unfortunately getting ensnared, entering range after combat started, guaranteed to get ensnared there. SaV's Priestess of the Moon, 50% health, but still confident enough to stay in the battle. Grinchy going to try to finish up this Murloc camp, take this down, take the crab, the Limb Ripper. Meanwhile, SaV backing off, taking down a Murloc of his own. Tome of Knowledge going to be dropped, and the sacred texts going to be read by the Keeper. Priestess of the Moon, gathering strength, has the level 2, has the Searing Arrows. Keeper of the Grove looking for the level 3. Curious to see if he'll take the Entangle or the Treants. But he will get some Sentry Wards and a Tome of Intelligence. Tome's pretty good. Would love to see it red. Be a nice plus attack damage. More mana regen. As a caster, as a player, I always hate to see the tomes left behind. They never get enough respect. And SaV70. Oh, and Grinchy's third eye senses it. Pops the reveal. And 100 pays the price for it. Going to try to be denied. Not quite on time. Just a couple milliseconds late. As SaV loses 100. Grinchy's 47 supply Huntress Army to the 42 supply of SaV. But fighting on home territory is going to be tough for Grinchy. With all this moon juice. 300 mana. It's nighttime. They're going to be filled up. Grinchy's going to put the pressure on anyway. 1 Archer in the back. 7 Huntresses in the front. Meanwhile, SaV has 6 Huntresses up front. Priest of the Moon Searing Arrows going to be raining down flaming shots onto the Huntress army. Entangle now going out on the Huntress, but quickly detonated by one of the Wisps. Bring the injured Hunts back, trying to soak up in the Moon Juice, get healed back up. Grinchy trying to focus fire down as many Hunts as possible, try to spread the damage out, maximize the amount of mana being used by the Moonwells. Grinchy microwing back some of the injured Huntresses. Huntresses going to work on one another. So many Huntresses now at mid to low health. This is where everything gets juicy. Who's going to be the first to fall? Who's going to be the first to blink? Grinchy pulls the ripcord and is ready to get on out of here. Doesn't want to lose any unnecessary Huntresses. One may fall to, unfortunately, tripping into the back of this Huntress. But Grinchy's able to get the Entangle on the Priestess, salvage everything, and bring them back home to bathe in the Moon Juice. Tier 2 getting started for Grinchy. SaV opting to stay on Tier 1, and out come the Glaive Throwers. And the Priestess of the Moon really would love to get that level 3. Will get it from this creep camp. Long distance boulder. Tom Brady, the Golem, throwing down map. Meanwhile, Grinchy has the level 3, has had it for a little while, and has the 48 supply Huntress army with no glaives. Something he'll need to be cognizant of, as now SaV has 3. These glaives deal a ton of damage to Huntresses, deal a ton of damage to buildings. The perfect counter to an all Huntress army if you can keep them alive. SaV also bringing the Zeppelin into the mix. Stuff always gets dicey when the Zeppelin gets put into motion. We did see really high level play. I forget who it was, but in a Glaive Thrower Huntress matchup, someone was dropping glaives, firing, and then picking the glaives back up in the Zeppelin before they would get hit by the opponent's glaives. It was very high level micro. It might have been Law Lyot, but it was incredible play. Love to see high-level play like that. Wonder if we'll see some of it here. Huntresses of Grinchy back in play. Force of Nature being used. Level 2 Entangle online, ready to go, but unfortunately a little low on mana, Keeper of the Grove. Gonna need to start getting some damage done onto those Huntresses in the backline. Glaive Thrower was dealing so much damage to the Huntresses, but Grinchy making a little bit of progress, now getting to the backline of the Glaive Throwers, but they're getting picked up by the Zeppelins, getting dropped back down, and Grinchy's army is just evaporating, now down to 25 supply. Really good usage of the Zeppelin from SaV. SaV70 showing his experience right here, right now. Level 5 Priestess of the Moon. Grinchy backs off with the level 3. And so many Huntress losses from Grinchy. Just a very well-played battle from SaV. Very clean. Got what he needed to get done. Doesn't have much moon juice to go back and heal up, but doesn't need it right now when you're that far ahead in supply. You're going to have quite a bit of time before you need to worry about your opponent, and there's a nice moonwell waiting for you if you could take care of that dragon. Or just wait for night. All right, but SaV wants to put the pressure on, wants to end this series, end this game quickly. He's going for the tier 1 push. Wasting no time. SaV bringing some wisps down, going to heal up and repair the glaive throwers. Glaive throwers in range now of the Ancients. Archers being trained. Panda online. This could definitely help kill some of these low-health Huntresses. A lot of them in the danger zone of a Breath of Fire death right now. But the glaive throwers so far away. 1150 range. They're able to hit these Ancient of Wars from so far away. No more production from Grinchy. Has another Ancient of Lord now down there getting produced as we speak. Panda being pushed back immediately. Gonna try to get some Breath of Fires off. Does get one, but just taking so much damage from the Huntresses. Has to back off immediately. Meanwhile, the glaive throwers going to work onto the Moonwells. Force of Nature, unfortunately, mistargeted slightly, only able to get one Treant, and when it rains, it pours for Grinchy. Grinchy, unfortunately, not able to get any advantage, even for Force of Nature. GG is called. SaV is your winner of Game 1. So SaV looking good, looking confident. He feels like he's ready to take Game 1 and now possibly Game 2. We're back in the lobby just like that. We're getting ready for our second matchup. Update all of our brackets, all of our scores. And once again, congrats to SaV on Game 1. A definitive showing. Just such high confidence with the Huntresses, with the glaive throwers, with the Priestess. Doesn't need the tier 2. Grinchy tried to follow it up with the Panda, but unfortunately, I think the game was lost after that first battle. That first battle near the middle of the map. The Zeppelin play from SaV was strong. Huntress play, Focus Fire was great. Glaives reduced the amount of damage they were taking, picking them up, putting them back down in the Zeppelin. Everything looked very clean. And with that, we're getting ready for Game 2. So how's everyone doing? What'd you all think of Game 1? SaV, very strong. Bringing glory to his GNL team. Bringing glory to FSLA, Lucker Main Army. But Grinchy, a Season 7 champion, has the experience. He is the People's Champion. He's a War 3 Champions Tournament admin. One of the first admins I interacted with when I did my first War 3 Champions cast for Season 7 Endgame Tournament. So Grinchy, MVP in the scene. Want to see him do well. Want to see him make this comeback. But really quickly, we'll go back over to the tail of the tape for Game 2, just so everybody who's just joining us can kind of get caught up. We have our Night Elf Mirror. Lucker Army versus Bashi's Monkeys. Night Elf Mirror. Get a quick glance at the stats. Very well played by SaV. Game 1. And we're about to dive on into Game 2. So who do you all got your money on? We'll get some predictions rolling in just a second. Let me get a prediction up. SaV or Grinchy, 2 minutes. Get your predictions in, gamble those. All so valuable channel points. Can't find them anywhere else but here. Twitch.tv/TheOCDrummer. But substituting in for OC Drummer today is Ric Flair. OC will be back later this week. Actually, next week. After Halloween. All right, and we're heading on into Game 2. Game 2 is going to be played on Shallow Grave. Coming up right now. GLHS from our opponents. Very respectable game. They're both admirers of the game, very respectful of the game. Two of our great GNL champions. Keeper of the Grove coming out yet again for Grinchy, and we're going to see Demon Hunter this time from SaV. So a switcheroo from Game 1. Not going to see the raw power of the Priestess Huntress Glaive Thrower push, which you guys all saw was quite potent. Very hard to deal with that when you're not prepared for it. Would have loved to see Grinchy potentially get a couple Glaive Throwers to counter it as well. And if he was able to have a better encounter the first time around, he would have been in great shape. Here we are, SaV getting started on the creeping. Ancient of War is in place, eating the trees. Wisp is here to repair if necessary. Demon Hunter coming on out, going to get started. Meanwhile, Grinchy just slightly behind. First Archer coming out quite a bit late. I believe there was a cancellation of a building here in the beginning for Grinchy that might have caused some delays on his end. So, fortunately for Grinchy, early game not going well for him in Game 2. But knowing Grinchy, how resilient he is, how prepared he is, and how talented he is, if anyone could come back from this slight deficit, it is the People's Champ. And for his efforts, Grinchy going to get Gloves of Haste, a very welcomed item for any hero. Demon Hunter has donned the Circlet of Nobility. Fortunately, all the units getting Frost Armor. It's going to make this creep camp take quite a bit longer. You see that damage reduction really adds up. Not only that, but the slowed attack speed of the melee attacker. SaV going to head on out, get back to this creep later. Smart idea. Don't waste time with the Frost Armor. Let it fall off. Come back later. Grinchy finishing up as well. Has some Frost Armor of his own to deal with. Gets the level 2. Now he's going to have the Entangle. Grinchy going to Tier 2 very quickly. Has the Hunter's Hall coming up as well. Hunter's Hall coming up for SaV as well. Both players may make a lore transition after Tier 2 is online. Grinchy finds the gauntlets of Ogre Strength from this creep camp. Demon Hunter did quite well with the tanking. Drops the circlet before healing up. Nice usage of maximizing the health return from the Moonwells. Picks the circlet back up. And heading on down. Encounters the Wisp. Grinchy's surely going to detonate that before it's too late. Does get the detonate off. Doesn't transition any XP over to SaV. When you're playing a player like SaV, you cannot afford to give him any extra advantages. Very strong player. Grinchy going to find a Wand of Illusion. Certainly going to help out with this mid-game. As SaV is certainly going to be looking for him. Demon Hunter is on the prowl. You can see him on the minimap. And now SaV is here, going to get a lot of damage on these archers if he so chooses to. But they're going to back off for the time being. Only a couple archers in production. Grinchy has a couple archer supply advantage. And now the Entangled Illusion. Grinchy has to know now he can leave this guy alone. Entangling the illusion again. Not sure if I'd waste the mana on entangling the illusion. But perhaps there's a reasoning for that I am not aware of. Keep in mind your commentator tonight is 1400 MMR.
Players' forces are under attack.
I'm not the masterful Carson, who brings such a high level of analysis to the casts. But Grinchy finishing up creeping the Sasquatch camp. Going to get a nice item from the natural. Thomas Strength also available as well. Going to get a little bit of extra health. Periapt on the map. Sav sees all the items that are dropped. Grinchy knows now this is an illusion. Doesn't need to waste his time, but this is the real one. So now we're going to start seeing some interesting interactions. Thomas Strength up for grabs. Who's going to get it? Demon Hunter is going to take it. Going to get a little bit of extra health. Meanwhile, checking back on the macros. Ancient Allure is about to come up for both players. Only one Ancient Allure down for Grinchy. Second one now down. Demon Hunter able to go to work now on the Keeper of the Grove. Has another Mana to Burn in stock. Does get it used. A counter Demon Hunter has been produced for Grinchy. Grinchy now going to be able to return in kind some Mana Burns. Alright, Ancient Allure is now online, going right to the Druid of the Claw. Adept training, wants to get the bears out as soon as possible. Dryads coming out from SaV, so a slight change in macro strategy for SaV. SaV opting for the Dryads, Grinchy opting for the bears. Interesting second hero, Keeper of the Grove. Doesn't scale too well into the mid to late game, especially against Dryads. Easily able to dispel the Entangle, easily able to dispel the Treants. But we'll see how someone as good as SaV manages a mid-game Keeper of the Grove.
A player's forces are under attack.
Grinchy looking to level up this Demon Hunter as well. Gonna pull the Keeper of the Grove back, maximize the Demon Hunter's XP gain. And because of that, probably going to get level 2 from this creep camp. Also gets the big heal pot, 500.
A town is under siege.
Checking in on SaV. SaV looking to get level 2 Keeper for himself as the Demon Hunter getting that much closer to level 2. Will get it from this creep camp, but now it's going to take a little bit longer with the Inner Fire. There's the level 2, and now Demon Hunter is going to have some evasion. Tome of Intellect down on the map. Keeper of the Grove would love to take that. Demon Hunter going to grab it instead. Grinchy has no time to waste. Bear has rank 1, sure to get rank 2. There it is. Tier 3 online. Dryads, Bears coming out for Grinchy. Tier 3 and Master Bears coming out for SaV as well. 45 supply Grinchy. Grinchy does have the supply advantage. Also has the slight hero advantage.
A player's forces are under attack.
So Grinchy faring quite well in this mid-game right now. If he can keep up the pace, keep out-creeping his opponent, he'll be in great shape for the next battle. Gonna need to start thinking about double orbs on your heroes. I'm sure the Keeper is here to grab one. There's the first orb. Has the staff on the Demon Hunter, has the orb on the Keeper. Double staff, double orbs makes the Night Elf hero composition so incredibly dangerous. Both players choosing to not interact too much this mid-game. Sticking to their creep routes, sticking to what they need to do to get the hero levels they require before their first encounters. And now SaV catching up in supply, but still quite a bit behind on hero levels. Grinchy found the level 3 Demon Hunter, now has the level 2 Mana Burn, matching the capabilities of SaV's Demon Hunter. SaV taking out the Laboratory. Now has the level 2 Keeper of the Grove. Went for Thorns Aura, going to be helpful against the Bear army that Grinchy is accumulating. So interesting choices here from all players, and maybe this is why the keeper was chosen second. A lot of questions, a lot of question marks about why keeper second, and we may see it right now. Maybe it was all for the thorns. Here we are, Grinchy maybe with the first creep jack of the game. He can see him, and SaV wasting 0 time. Doesn't want to lose any units. TPing out immediately, takes the item from the golem, and retreats. Has that nice Wand of the Wind now. Pendant of Energy on the keeper. Keeper, plenty of mana to go around. Going to take quite a bit longer for the Demon Hunter to burn the remainder of the mana. Hello, Kaiser, Korea Man, Sword Puppy. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Welcome to Fight Night. SaV continuing on the creep routes. Grinchy closing in on level 4. Both heroes. That would be a nice, sizable power spike for Grinchy if he can lock that down before his first encounter. Baiting the shockwave, trying to minimize the amount of damage he takes from it. Gets the attack on the Ogre Lord and is looking to claim a nice item. Django of Endurance. Love to see that as Grinchy. The People's Champ now has the People's item. And look at this Keeper of the Grove. Have you ever seen a more stacked Keeper of the Grove? Khadgar's Pipe, Django, Robe of the Magi, Orb of Venom, and the Staff. That is one scary, scary Keeper of the Grove. Rejuves all around. Grinchy's army getting healed up. SaV breaking upkeep. Grinchy going to need to think about doing the same. As SaV may have a two-bear advantage right now with that 8 supply lead, sorry. 3 Dryads, 5 bears, to 4 bears, no Dryads from Grinchy. So the map just about crept out, and this is where Grinchy's going to really need to start thinking about getting more units, breaking that upkeep. I know he's been so hesitant, maximizing so much gold. He has a lot banked up, but now might be the time. Does get the Wisp killed before the detonate goes off. But now, here comes the attack from SaV. It's now or never. Grinchy choosing to break upkeep. Here it is. 2 bears in production. Grinchy back home. Demon Hunter right into the front line. Entangle used on the bear immediately. Bears entangled. Demon Hunter in the middle of everything. Taking a lot of damage. Mana burn onto the Demon Hunter, but Demon Hunter needs to get back from Grinchy to get healed up. Bears going to town on one another. Finally, the Wand of the Wind used on the Keeper of the Grove and another bear. It is bear attack in the middle of Grinchy's base. Staffs being used by SaV. SaV has plenty of mana left for mana burns, but Grinchy has plenty of mana on the Keeper of the Grove. Grinchy supply down to 58. SaV down to 65. Trying to lock in and close in some of these bear kills. Grinchy finally able to close in some of those kills. A lot of rejuves going out and not enough Dryads to dispel. Focus fire onto the Demon Hunter. Does get the entangle. Will this be enough? Has a town portal. Also has a heal pot. Use the heal pot. Demon Hunter is going to be around for a little bit longer. Grinchy down to 34 supply. SaV has 65 supply. And looking quite formidable, quite strong in this push. Staff on the Keeper of the Grove. Will be able to stab the Demon Hunter out, but no, Grinchy kills the Demon Hunter. Is this enough to turn the tide of the battle? A very nice kill by Grinchy onto this Demon Hunter of SaV. Now, Demon Hunter able to freely mana burn, but needs to be careful with all the damage that he's taking. Has a couple Moonwells left to be able to recoup a lot of that lost health. And maybe, just maybe, Grinchy, a slice of hope to make a comeback. The People's Champ looking to make a comeback. Staffs the Demon Hunter back. Going to get the Demon Hunter healed back up. Staffing the bears back as well from SaV. Checking on the altar. Demon Hunter being revived the old-fashioned way. No tavern this time. Doesn't have enough resources. Demon Hunter has the rejuves. Dryads are there to quickly dispel. One more bear of Grinchy's. Almost about to fall, but able to be pulled back just enough. Might be able to get splashed into the Moon Juice. But I think just the raw numbers of SaV might be a little too much for Grinchy to deal with at this point. Grinchy trying his best to stay alive. Does get out of the entangle. Brings the Demon Hunter back. Keeper of the Grove. Dealing a lot of damage to the bears, but there's so many bear presence from SaV70. SaV pushing forward. Bears falling left and right. Demon Hunter and Keeper of the Grove. Bear trio trying to clean up the rest of SaV's army. Will take one bear for one bear. SaV brings a very wounded bear into the back of the battle. Demon Hunter still has so much health. Buys the potion. Going to use it. And Keeper of the Grove able to get the supply down to 53. With just the Demon Hunter and the Keeper of the Grove. Doing so much with so little, the People's Champ trying to make a comeback. Scratching and clawing his way back into this matchup. Entangle used on the Archer. Not enough mana to dispel it from the Dryad. Demon Hunter going to chase down, maybe mana burn this bear, take it out. Does solidify the bear kill. That's a nice kill from Grinchy. Closing the gap even further. Staffs the Dryad back, and the Dryad will get healed up. There he is, just in time. 1 health. Bathes in the moon juice, and just like that, SaV is back in action. All right, Grinchy. You need to do some masterful micro right now. The Demon Hunter is back. You do have 2 level 5s. You have a nice hero advantage, but you're short some units. You're going to need to micro like you've never microed before. SaV bought the Scroll of Healing. 1 more scroll left, but not enough gold to purchase it. It is up for grabs, but Grinchy not going to be able to make it down there to grab it. 1,800 gold left in the gold mines. These will be out in 180 seconds.
A player's forces are under attack.
3 minutes left on those gold mines. SaV is back. Pressure is on. Altar of Elders is the target. Entangle used on the Keeper. Mana burn on the Keeper. Grinchy moving forward. Entangle on the opposing Demon Hunter now. But 5 bears stand in the path of the Demon Hunter and the backline. Altar of Elders now destroyed. SaV can now focus his attention onto the Moonwells. Not much moon juice being produced right now. It is daytime. No more mana on the Demon Hunter of SaV. SaV forced to only use bears and auto attack damage from the Demon Hunter. Focus firing now onto the bears and the Demon Hunter. All the Dryads trying to get as much damage on the Demon Hunter as possible. Demon Hunter of SaV brought back. It is a bear slaughter in the middle of Grinchy's base. Bears all targeting on one another. 49 supply to 55 supply. Staffs being used. All staffs now on cooldown. Demon Hunter of Grinchy quite low in the danger zone right now. Needs to be very, very cautious. Needs to be able to buy a potion. Has a staff on cooldown right now. Got the potion. Going to pop it when necessary. GG is called by Grinchy. We have our winner of the series, and it is SaV70 going 2-0 against Grinchy. And not as animated as our last champion, Dumble. But we're going to get SaV into the call and see what our champion has to say. Give me 1 second here to get everything set up. I think his name is Rook. All right, let's
Hello.
SaV70, congratulations, sir. You have defeated the People's Champ, Grinchy. How does it feel?
Oh man, it feels good. Thank you. Greetings, by the way. This is a dream come true. You know, I've been playing World of Warcraft since before TFT came out, and this is my first live interview after a victory, so It feels beautiful, man. I'm very grateful.
Well, it's well deserved. You put on a great performance. Going into game one, the Huntress Glaive Thrower strat, is that map dependent? Is that Night Elf mirror dependent? Under what conditions are you doing a Huntress Glaive Thrower push?
Well, it's particularly good because there's two fountains on left and right side, and you can send your weak huntresses there at nighttime. The observatory is a bit tricky to get the Zeppelin, but because of the fountains, I believe it's really good, and the archers just don't really fare up too well in this matchup on that map. I think the archers move pretty slow.
Is the Zeppelin play something you use often with Glaive Throwers? Because we did see you picking them up, dropping them back down, avoiding a lot of the damage. We've seen high level Night Elves do that strategy before. Is that something you're practicing? Something new? What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, actually both. I've been practicing it and it's new to me. Yes, if you're gonna play some glaive throwers, I found that once you reach that 50 food, you're ready to push. You got 240 gold and 60 wood. Go get that Zeppelin, man. It's nice. It really helps. Um, 'Cause Zeppelins are slow. You can pick them up, micro them, send them a little bit back, and drop them again. It worked out very well for me, and my coach has been helping me greatly with that, and it really paid off. Thank you, coach. You know who you are.
Shout outs to the coach. Now, game
Yeah.
two, you gave your reasoning for Huntress Glaive Thrower push on your first map, but is there ever an opportunity to do that same push on Shallow Grave?
Yeah, I believe so. Actually, my coach showed me a replay of him playing Bottom Hunts on Shallow Grave. He was facing a Demon Hunter, though, but I just didn't like it because I didn't think the observatories were easily accessible with huntresses. I felt like I was going to take a lot of damage, so I'm like, you know what? You're already up one game. If you play demon standard, well, my opinion is standard, then even if you lose, you still got one more match to, bring it home. So I didn't like how, like I said, the observatory, so I went with the demon hunter.
And it worked out in the end. Something interesting that I was questioning and some in the chat were questioning, Keeper of the Grove second. Give us your reasoning behind that.
Oh yeah, so it's either going to be Naga or Keeper, or it could even be a Pit Lord in some cases. But I really like the Keeper because number one, you got Thorn's Aura and such, so that adds a little bit damage in the on the bear front lines against other bears. The Entangle is really good, especially at level 3. You drop an Entangle, he has no Dryads for Dispel. You drop an Entangle on the bear. That bear is out of the fight for a long time. Entangle one bear, you get level 5 Keeper, get the level 3 Entangle in my opinion. You entangle one bear, go to the next bear. When the unit is entangled, they cannot do damage. People like to go Naga. Yeah, Naga's nice, it works out. But I always played the keeper, so I like to stick to that.
Very nice and very informative. With this 2-0 today, what do you hope to get out of GNL this year? What are your goals?
My goals are to get better. As you saw on the loading screen, I'm only a 1600 MMR. I've been struggling very hard to reach 1600 MMR. And I just want to have a good time. I want to get better, play with the community. Shout outs to Floss, Team FSLA, and the whole GNL, whole gym community. And I'm just having a great time. You know, that's base. I could say more, but I think you got the idea. Shout outs to Jim. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. And any final words? You already gave some shout outs, but any final words for any of our viewers today, any of our GNL brethren?
Yeah, sure, guys. Don't give up, and have fun. Anything's possible. And when you cry about balance, you're only self-sabotaging yourself. And you guys may be saying, it's funny coming from an elf player, but I believe that, don't sell yourself short. Don't make excuses why you lost. Own up to your decision making and your mistakes. Step up to the plate and just work harder for the next game.
Words of wisdom from a very talented up and coming Night Elf player. Congratulations again, SaV70. Well played. and we'll see you next time. Hope to see you on the next fight night.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope so. Just real quick, I'm starting a new job, so I will be working during these hours. Maybe I can make next week, but if not, it was a blast. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for having me. And shout outs to Grinchy. Thank you for the games, Grinchy. Well played.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll see you again. But if not on Fight Night, we'll definitely see you around on someone's stream. We have Baron and a whole lot of other really great commentators casting. So I'm sure we'll see you again soon, Sav. GG.
Thanks, bro. See ya. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.